This putter grip changed everything. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Tyson and Brady with Golf Ascending. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We upload golf content every week. So today we've got a pretty innovative putter grip, something that's very strange to look at, but it is called the Kotahi grip with the BJM putting system. So we're gonna get into a little bit of how we got introduced to this thing, what it actually does, what it's supposed to accomplish, and what our overall thoughts are. So let's get into it. Brady's going to explain it for us.
All right, so how we came upon these grips, the owners or founders, creators, they actually reached out to us on email and they said, hey, we have some grips we'd like you guys to try out and test them out, give a review. And at first we're like, oh, cool, yeah, grips, we'll try it out. It's like, I got them in the mail and I saw these and I sent a picture to Tyson. I was like, so we got these grips and they were all these really bright colors. And what was the first thing you said when I showed them to you?
Yes, I mean, as you guys probably know, I play a Betnardi in my bag. They're not like
really
the
nice.
most like cheap putter in the world. And I'm like, I'm not putting this blue bright grip on my putter. I don't want it to look tacky. And so that's kind of what the first impression was. And, you know, we just kind of rolled with it.
And I had that thought as well. So what we first did, we're like, okay, we'll test them out. We said we would. And so we put them on not our gamer putters, so some backup putters we had. So like, okay, put them on our backup putters. We'll test them out, kind of funky colors, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, you can tell it is a different shape. It is very odd, and even the feel was different. So right away I was like, this is funky. But we're gonna get into that right now of why it's shaped this way and why this is actually a pretty revolutionary design for putter grips and a putting system.
So traditional putter grips and, you know, the way that you actually grip a putter, there's lots of movement that you can get within your arms, your wrists, and who knows what else. And so the whole creation of this grip and the system behind the grip, the putting system, is to help, I guess, get rid of all the variation of movement. And so the way that you're actually supposed to take this grip by hand is palms out, okay? When you go palms out and you tuck them in, there's not as much movement that you can do with your wrists or your arms. Yes, you still can get away with some little movement, but it's not something so huge like, you know, just
pushing
like that.
And pulling putts all the time.
Exactly. So that is the biggest thing behind the grip. And what's kind of interesting is the name Kotahi, from its New Zealand roots, actually means to unite together or one. And so what's really cool is when we actually learn how to take the grip, like the actual formation of it and the equipment, which is this grip, it all works together in a fluid motion.
Unity.
Yep, unity. So we're actually going to go out to the course. Brady's going to show us how we're actually supposed to take this grip, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. All right, so this is the way that the founders of Kotahi Grip told us how you do the setup with this grip, because it is quite different. So to do the setup, first you have your arms in, or your elbows into your body, your torso, and you hold the club out straight with your palms up. I have my palms up right here. And then once you're in this position, tilt the club, let the head of the club tilt down just a little bit. So here's straight, tilt. And then once you have that set up and tilt, you bend over. And then you're over the ball like that.
All right, so as you guys could see there, Brady did a great job explaining how the grip works and what the putting stroke actually looks like. And both Brady and I actually have had continuous conversations with the founders of Kotahi Grip and the BJM putting system to make sure that we had everything down correctly, because what good is a putting system and a grip that's meant to work a certain way if you're not actually performing it the right way? So, over and over again, we've had these conversations, and that is basically picture perfect on how it works. Now, something that I want to add to this putter grip, and what I've learned going through the testing process of this, is that this is actually very similar to an arm lock style of putting, right? When you do an arm lock, okay, the grip's coming up the arm and you're anchoring it to the arm. This is very similar in the fact that you're locking your arms out and bringing it in, and it allows for very minimal error.
Rotation minimal.
Right. So I mean, if you are interested in having this consistency or this lack of error in your putting, and you just want to rely solely on the line that you have with your putting stroke, this is something definitely to look into. Now, as you guys can see on our table here, we've got two different size grips here. So we've got the standard size, which is the bigger one. And then we have this one, which is the undersized, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, when we first received these in the mail, I was actually drawn more toward the smaller one. I didn't realize that this was undersized. This is actually probably about the size of a Super Stroke 2.0. Slim.
Width-wise,
yeah. So I mean, it's still pretty big. Lengthwise, it's about the same. But what's interesting is that it being undersized, this actually is catered more towards women and people with smaller hands. The standard size is actually designed to fit the hands fully, so that it fits within the system. There's no error in there. But I'm actually going to get, when we talk about our review on these, Brady and I both have some different input on the sizing, but the founders recommend the standard size. So but anyways, before we get into our reviews on our experience on these gloves, I actually had during testing came up with, I feel like there's a little bit more of an efficient way to set up the putting system. So let's go out to me on the course explaining that. All right, so Brady explained how the founders explained how to use this Kotahi grip. After using it for a while, I've come up with my own system that I think is a little bit easier that I want to share with you guys. So this is how I go about a putt. So I get down here and I align the ball. See, I've got a line here. I align my target. And once I get that line, I will step over the ball, and my alignment on my putter, I line up to the ball. Now, because the putter is resting on the ground, I can easily go palms out without any lifting or anything like that. I can easily adjust, get my feet into place, and I'm pretty much set. If I want to check, according to what the founders do, I can grab the putter, straight out, bend, down, and we're here. Okay? The reason why I do this is that it is a lot easier to move this way toward the ball or away from the ball than it is to move laterally. So that's why I line up, grab, and putt.
All right, there you have it. That was Tyson's method for setting up with the Kotahi grip, and it works really well for him. And actually, I've kind of adopted that as well, because I have ran into issues where I'm trying to set up and I get down, I'm like, oh, I'm not really in front of the ball. I think you could see that in my video showing how to set up. But there are, different ways to do it, but if you keep to the way that the founders say, I think you're pretty set. But we want to both go over our personal reviews of the product and what we think. We've had a lot of time to test these out, and we've been using them for quite some time. And like we said at first, we weren't sure about these grips, and we put them on our backup putters. And at first, I didn't like how it felt with the system and bending over. I didn't really like how it felt on my back. And the first day I tried it, first night, I even called Tyson that night. I'm like, I don't really like how this feels. But I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna keep working at it. And literally the next day, I decided, okay, I'm just gonna keep putting and putting. And it was so weird. I think I even called my wife into the room. I was practicing on my perfect practice putting that. And I made like 40 in a row. And I was like, oh, I can't miss. With this putter grip, I can't miss. And the cool thing, like we talked about the science of it, is it's meant to make it so you avoid pushing and pulling your putts. So any putts that I did miss, it was because they were short. And I just couldn't believe it. And right away I was like, I'm excited for this grip. And I told Tyson, and then he kind of had a similar experience. He'll talk about it. But so I think the system is great. It is awesome. I'm sold on it. It's on my gamer. It's on a couple other putters. I think it is a great system, and I really like it. Now, I did say that I felt like I could never miss except for distance. Well, that was one of my big things. I thought that lag putts would be tough. I thought the 30-foot putts and anything long, I thought it would be pretty difficult with this new setup because I didn't have any type of setup like this with my putter grip. I wasn't close up in my body like that, and so I just felt like I was limited. But as I did it, I found there's no issues hitting long putts. But that was still the biggest thing that I think if you get this grip that you'd have to get used to is distance control, because you do hit it straighter, and if you have a good line, when I trust my line, I'm not worried about me pushing or pulling it. For the most part, it's just, am I getting the right distance control? And I've gotten pretty used to it after some time. The other thing that I want to say, and this is kind of more of a negative part on my side, but I am not a fan of the material they use. And we talked to the founders, and they said they need it because they're so large. They need it to be light. But I think I think we showed you, and when it was cut up, you can see what the materials are. It's just the outside material that I'm not a fan of. It has like these little bumps. It's kind of sticky, which is nice. You want it to be sticky. But when you put it on the ground and there's cut grass or there's sand from the bunkers, it gets stuck on there really easy, and it just sticks, and you can't wipe it off. You need to use like water. So I'm not a fan of the material. It would be cool if they did test out some others, and I think they mentioned they are going to test them out, right? But other than that, the actual system I really like, and I think that this putter grip has been awesome. I mean, good enough for me to change my entire setup and to change the putter grips on all my putters. So that is my overall thoughts of the putter grip. Now we can get Tyson's thoughts and his experience as he's tested them out as well.
So I mentioned in the beginning of this video that this putter grip changed everything, and it really did. Brady mentioned that both of us have now put these in the bag. They are in play. But what's just crazy about this is that this isn't just, oh, I'm putting on a grip, I'm using my normal putting stroke, and it's in the bag. This grip came with a system, a putting method, and because of this grip and how it works, I changed my whole method on how I putt. And so when I say it changed everything, it literally changed everything about my putting, from the grip to actually how I'm stroking the ball. So kind of getting into a little bit more detail on my review other than just I've switched to it. I mentioned there were two different sizes, okay, and the founders did say that the standard one, the bigger one, is meant for most people. When I put this on the practice putter, like Brady mentioned to begin with, I actually put the undersized one on. And when we had our video chats with them and I showed them, they're like, oh wait, you have the undersized one on, that's for women. And I was like, well, hold on. Like I wasn't used to big grips. I wasn't, I was used to using just a lambkin lambkin paddle grip. And I was like, I don't want anything big because I feel like it takes all the feeling out of the putts. And so I'm a blade putter user. So a lot of times with those, you get to feel it all the way up through the handle. And so anyways, when I put this on, there was no turning back. You do, like when I did hold it, I do hold it just a little bit looser so I can feel it in my hands. But to me, the undersized one feels right. And my hands aren't small by any means. They're pretty average. So definitely, if there's a place where you can try these out, maybe, find them in a local shop where you can just get your hands on one, the undersized one might be for you. I actually did try the bigger one. You guys did see the clip. It is split open because that is no longer on a putter because I did not like it. But yeah, so the undersized one is for me.
It is a little bit shorter, so you actually had the opportunity to put it on our putters, and it was a little different with when you actually had to put it on because it's so long.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually installed these on the putters. You actually had to, on the bigger one, the standard size, you actually had to build up tape down at the bottom of the grip because a lot of times in putters they're tapered, and so it's less of a diameter on the shaft when you get down lower. So you had to build it up with tape so that it stuck on there pretty good. That was a learning experience that I had with this, but no big deal. Once you build up the tape, it works and fits fantastic. But another thing, just kind of going back to my overall review, this takes a lot of thinking out of it.
Oh, yeah.
What I like about it is that, you know, you go down, you look at your ball, you line it up with where you want your line to go, and you know that if you line up the putter and you have this system and you just, you know, rock it like a baby and you keep it nice and, you know, steady, that ball is literally just going to go on that exact line. So the only thing that you are worrying about is the pace.
Yeah, and it's so nice to have that trust. It really is.
Yeah, so I am a huge fan of this grip. You know, like I said at the beginning, first impressions, I didn't love them. They didn't look great. I told myself I'm not putting this on my putter.
Same.
And, you know, I've got several putters at home now. This black undersized one is on every single one of them. You know, I go back to other putter grips and, you know, trying to use the BJM system, and they just feel awkward. And, you know, we didn't really touch on this earlier in the review, but this is shaped like a teardrop. I don't know if you guys can fully see that. But what's really cool is, you know, it does fit in the palms, and the part where it comes up into the point, you can actually almost rest your thumbs, both of them on it, and they almost push together, almost like counterbalancing it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that design about it. You know, Brady mentioned, you know, a couple of the dislikes that he has about it. I share some of those. When you do set this on the ground, it does pick up, you know, some grass, potentially sand, seed, you know, and you do have to, you know, get a wet towel, wipe it off, then dry it, you know, before you're gonna putt. So that is an issue that I have. However, that issue didn't stop me from putting this on my putter. So overall, guys, this putter grip really did change everything for me. It is straight in the bag. You know, I've never felt more confident within 10 feet. You know, when I started put this on here and I was like, okay, this is for sure what I'm doing. You know, me and Brady played a couple rounds and I just was making like literally everything. He's like, what the heck? Like, you're making, you know, 6, 7, 8 footers. Those are were normally like 2 putts generally from that range. Now everything has a chance. You know, you guys will see in some of these clips, I've made some of the longest putts of my life with this grip. So overall, guys, definitely check it out. Do the research also too. We'll drop a link for their website, but they have a little bit more scientific terms as to how this thing actually works. It is very interesting. You know, a little tidbit of knowledge here. Ernie Els actually has this grip, at least for the time being, on his club, as you guys can see in this picture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so pretty cool. So just in conclusion, guys, you know, this grip, definitely try it out. Definitely check out what colors and things that they have to offer. They have a wide range of colors, sizes, and then when you guys do check out, so that you guys, if you do want this, go to a place called Golf Shafts America, and use the coupon code GA10 for 10% off. I think this thing is about $36. So save yourself a little bit of money by using the code, and give it a try. And let us know if you guys have tried this out, what your thoughts are of how bizarre this thing looks. Let us know down in the comments below. We love to hear from you guys. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe. We upload golf content every week, and we'll see you next time.